Hi there, my name is Liezl Smith. I represent a non-profit organization called the Kogelberg Villages Environmental Trustees, which is also a public benefit organization. We work in the Pringle Bay area and the Hermanus area, collecting data on the baboon troops, their dynamics, their health, the numbers, the topography, everything that is going on with the baboons. And of course, we deal with a lot of issues with residents and the public visitors, trying to put forward education on the baboons and what is happening in the Kogelberg area. I'd like to say that the aim of this is to unveil my truth, which has been distorted by certain individuals for way too long, and which we have actually successfully defended in the court of law for each and every case that we have dealt with. To get rid of the fear in Pringle Bay that everybody seems to be focused on, I feel that it's necessary to do these interviews. And many of the theories with regarding to baboons and baboon management are not correct. And that is why it is time for me to speak out from my heart. Relevant transcripts, all the answering affidavits, any images that we will show you during these series can all be found in the link below on this YouTube channel or on the KVET website page. I know this sounds dramatic, but given the vandalism and the violence against myself and my property, I feel it's necessary to say that I'm of sound mind, I'm in good physical condition, and I would never hurt myself or another being. I live by the universal law of hurt no body. May all beings be happy and free. So let's unpack the numerous legal cases that have taken place over the last 3 years. There were applications from various residents for protection orders against me. 3 of those were dismissed in my favor. 1 was withdrawn and 1 went to trial. In the matter of Boltman Smith, the case was dismissed in my favor after the plaintiff did not show up for the trial. What is very interesting is that the plaintiff, in his own statement when he applied for the protection order, said the following: "The manager pulled up blocking my driveway and proceeded to talk to us. We told her that they were not welcome and need to leave. She refused. I pushed her off the property into the street. She became irate and continued to argue with my wife, calling her low class and trailer park trash. I threatened to beat her if she did not leave." What Mr. Boltman actually said to me was, while he put his fist 2 centimeters from my face, "A large man, I'm going to fuck you up." Another member of Pringle Bay, public, a resident in Pringle Bay, also assaulted me by throwing my phone out of my hands because I was filming him while he was whipping the baboons in a public space.
Excuse me, it's illegal what you're doing.
The prosecutor again took this on and asked me to mediate and not go to trial, which I did. We mediated. The resident got away lightly with an apology to me. The very next day, he was seen whipping the baboons again, this time on his property. Mr. Rion Viviers stood up in a PBRA meeting, a public PBRA special baboon management meeting, and called for the public to come and get, as he held up all the papers, the harassment protection orders that he had received from SAPS Claremont, stating that everybody must fill one in, I quote, "so they can keep me in court and out of Pringle Bay." On a side note, KVET laid charges of animal cruelty and assault on 2 individuals in Pringle Bay. In both these cases, SAPS Claremont did not inform KVET that they were due in court on the relevant dates. The first defendant had the opportunity to defend himself in court with a lawyer and a gun specialist. We were not afforded that opportunity. Justice was therefore not served. The second defendant disingenuously wrote a poem, posted it on the group, disregarding the fact that we were not summoned to go to court. Going back to Mr. Vivier's, a possible reason for him not showing up in court, which resulted in the case being dismissed in my favor, is that he and another female resident laid harassment charges against me on the same day for events that took place 5 and 6 months prior, despite the fact that the female resident claimed that I was a threat and a danger to her and her family. She withdrew the case after only a few minutes on the stand. The most important case to date is the Liezl Smith case, which took place on the 12th of September 2025. The case proved exactly the opposite of what the plaintiff accused me of and unpacked a lot of information necessary for the public to know. The case was won by me and not dismissed, as Mr. Ed Overberg Fresh, as he calls himself on the group, claimed. This case was also not against KVET. It was a personal case for a protection order against me by Mr. Sivertson, but he did accuse KVET of being illegal, criminal, and a public nuisance. The Liezl Smith case is of extreme importance because the presiding officer who did not grant the protection order made several statements in closing which are of extreme importance to what is happening here in Pringle Bay. Also of importance is that the group allowed Mr. Ed Overberg Fresh to make false interpretations of what was declared the law by the presiding officer. The KVET attorney then supplied a legal letter, which we posted on our Facebook page. My defense lawyer supplied me with a legal letter as a rebuttal to Ed's statement, but he proceeded to call her out as a liar and inverted the narrative once again. Ed was not present at the trial, neither was he present at any of the events the plaintiff claimed I was harassing him at. So let's unpack this important case and what it means for us. Mr. Sivertson was requested by the court to get legal representation due to the seriousness of his application. He refused. When state legal representation was offered, it turned out, and I quote, for financial or other reasons, he did not qualify. Mr. Sivertson had previously claimed that he could not afford legal representation. Mr. Sivertson swore to tell the truth and nothing but the truth. In the cross-examination by Ms. Jordan, my defense attorney, he changed his testimony on at least 2 occasions. For example, he claimed in his testimony that I said that mediation between the different groups in Pringle Bay would not work. Later during the cross-examination, it turned out that the group that he belongs to did not want to talk. You can find this on page 35 of the court transcript with regard to a recording that was played in the court. I strongly suggest that you take the time to read through these documents and listen to the recordings provided in the link below to get a clear timeline and picture of what transpired during this court case and not what has been used to influence and mislead the public against me and KVET. I'd like to remind everyone that it was KVET and the Pringle Bay Conservation Group that requested mediation with the mayor in 2024, and it was the PBRA who voted against this and requested or suggested that all residents do the same. So in the court case Liezl Smith, Mr. Sivertson claimed that KVET is not allowed to caution the public on public roads. So if baboons are on the road and KVET staff are flagging to caution the public. Mr. Sievertson claimed that that's against the law, and that they're not trained, nor are they permitted to do so. So I'd like to read a few pages out of the transcript from the court case. OM also put a statement out saying that KVET was not supposed to be flagging. You can see that statement on the PBRA website because they posted it. We are trained. We have all done the National Flagman Training course. We've all been certified. We also got legal opinion about whether we can flag or not. So a few notes out of the transcript. Mr. Sievertson, they have no mandate in the village, permission from the municipality, the government, or any legal indistinct. The court asks, sorry, so are you trying to say they are not allowed to protect baboons? Mr. Sievertson, yes. Court, whether they are crossing the road or not. Mr. Sievertson, yes. Court, from any harm. Mr. Sievertson, yes, they have no mandate, it is not their job. Later on in the court case, Ms. Jordan asks, so are you saying that it is illegal for them to notify other drivers of impedance in the road? Mr. Sievertson says yes, they are not traffic law officers or traffic control. Ms. Jordan then says, and if I put it to you that Road Traffic Act actually requires you to do that if there are any impedances in the road, what would you say to that? Mr. Sievertson then replies, okay, then I will tell you, ma'am, are they competent, are they certified, and do they have permission? And again, we've done the courses, the national courses, so yes, and we are all competent. Also, the court said, do you understand the statement? The statement is that they are not blocking the traffic. They are just alerting road users. Mr. Sievertson, they do block the traffic. Ms. Jordan, my client will come and testify along with the witness that they do not block the roads. That in the event that the road is blocked, it is because the baboons are sitting in the road, as you state in your complaint. And your issue, as I read it here, pertains to the fact that KVET and presumably Liezl Smith do not move the baboons along, which you yourself has indicated is not their mandate to do, but OM's mandate. Is that correct? Mr. Sievertson, it is correct, miss. Mr. Sievertson claimed that KVET is busy with illegal activities and also has no mandate to do what they are doing in the village. This is something that continues to be broadcast on the group, and I'd like to address this because with 7 court appearances with magistrates, attorneys, prosecutors, all present, and with an Overstrand municipality with their legal team, the EMS Foundation, who does wonderful work with the elderly, with children, and with wildlife all over South Africa, would not engage with an organization that is dealing with criminal activity. The WAPSA Collective, which has 30 member organizations and is a wildlife organization throughout South Africa, KVET is also a member of this organization, would not support KVET if we were engaging in criminal activity. Mr. Sievertson also claimed that I took videos and photos of him and his private property. I'd like to read out a few extracts from the court transcript regarding the taking of photographs. Ms. Jordan, the law allows you to film if you are part of the conversation or if somebody is breaching the laws. And then just to make sure that we get this correct, there is no other incidences that you are referring to from the photos and videos taken portion of your complaint. Mr. Sievertson, no. The court, stop there, stop there, stop there. Did you see her except on that day in May or on any other day taking photos of you? Mr. Sievertson, no. The court, of you or your property? Mr. Sievertson, no. The court, have your photos or your video statement allegedly by Ms. Smith been posted anywhere public? Mr. Sievertson, I would not know, Your Honour. The court, did anyone inform you on that group of yours that your posts, your video and your photo had been posted? Mr. Sievertson, no, Your Honour, not at all. I asked you earlier, did you or did any of the members of that rewild group inform you that photos or videos of you were posted somewhere on social media? Mr. Sievertson, no, Your Honour. So Mr. Sievertson claimed that I harassed him while he was innocently standing at his gate, that I was following the baboons, but that I then started screaming and shouting at him and taking photographs of him. I want to read out of the court transcript again. Miss Jordan, and you were just standing leaning against the fence, and were there any items in your hands? Mr. Sievertson, no. The only item I had was the sticks which I left by the electric motor and walked on to my gate to go hang on the gate. Walking sticks which I left by the electric motor. The court asks, do you shoot at the baboons? Mr. Sievertson, I shoot nothing, Your Honour. Miss Jordan, do you own any weapons? Mr. Sievertson, no. Miss Jordan then asks to submit a picture to the courts and asks the complainant to explain what it is he is holding in his hand. Here's the picture of Mr. Sievertson standing at his gate as I passed by. Mr. Sievertson, oh, that is a toy, that is a toy, it's not a rifle. The court, it looks like a rifle. Mr. Sievertson, it is a toy, Your Honour. The court, why would you stand with a toy gun? Mr. Sievertson, it is for when the baboons seize it, they run. Anything black, they run. Miss Jordan, but your evidence said you were standing with your walking sticks leaning on the gate. The court, so I find it a bit strange, I'm telling you this now, that certain conversations you can recall word by word, meaning verbatim of a year, even 2023's conversations, but you cannot recall something like that, where you were standing with, which looks like a firearm, a rifle in your hand at the gate during May of 2024. Now, why is that? So I'd just like to interject here by letting you all know about another court case that happened, which started in 2023. After 2 years of back and forth, the resident was also found guilty. He held up what looked like a firearm, pointed it directly at me, and then used the group as a platform to belittle my reaction of shock and trauma. Here's the resident standing, pointing the gun at me. The resident was found guilty. He has a criminal record for the next 10 years. The case didn't go to trial because the one day before the trial date, the resident pleaded guilty. I did go to court on the day to watch the resident sign the paperwork, have his fingerprints taken, and to get his criminal record. So with the claims that I was the one harassing Mr. Sievertson, there was also a recording played in the court which proved that it was Mr. Sievertson actually threatening me. His words were, I will take every piece of clothing from your back, girlie.
No, you cannot.
Okay, well,
Try that. I'm going to do it. Bring the baboons to me. Try it.
But I've done.
I will take every piece of clothes off your body in the.
Don't threaten me. Threaten me. But don't threaten me. What are you threatening me now?
I've been in this industry. I've been in the police.
Why are you shouting at me?
Mr. Sievertson also claims that I fetch the baboons in the mountain and I bring them back to the village. and then let them roam around the village. You can read this on page 94 and 95 of the transcript. Besides this being an absolutely ludicrous statement, it is 100% false. It's defamatory and, quite frankly, nonsensical. I must possess some really magical powers to be able to entice an entire troop into the village and then to keep them here overnight. On the question of whether you have the right to shoot a baboon on your property or not, Mr. Sievertson claimed and presented a legal letter from Mrs. Liezl de Villiers, the senior environmental manager of the Overstrand municipality. Again, I'm reading from the transcript. I have a legal letter, Mr. Sievertson, saying what I'm allowed to do. Miss Jordan, I'm asking, are you allowed to shoot baboons as a general concept? Court, in general? Miss Jordan, yes, your worship. Mr. Sievertson, in general, if my life or my pets or my home, yes. Miss Jordan, so if your life is in danger. Mr. Sievertson, yes. Miss Jordan, or the lives of your pets are in danger, you are allowed to shoot them. Mr. Sievertson, I am allowed. Miss Jordan, if the baboons are damaging your property, are you allowed to shoot and kill them? Mr. Sievertson, it is. This clearly says I'm allowed to shoot them. Miss Jordan, in general. Mr. Sievertson, in general, if they do what the law says and the Constitution says about my property, my rights, my life and my pets, it is the same and they are all in danger. Miss Jordan, and that is the letter you got from the OM municipality. Mr. Sievertson, yes. Miss Jordan, okay. Here is the letter that we are referring to. Dear Mr. Sievertson, my apologies for my delayed response to emails. The original person, you, have the right to defend yourself, your integrity, your life, your property, if the necessity arises from harm. This right does not, however, allow you to pursue willfully or proactively the killing of any wild animal or baboon which is not endangering your life or property because it might be on or moving through your property. The court then says, okay, I want to tell you this. I agree with you when you say the law says you may protect your property. You may protect yourself, you may protect the third party, even if it means killing, as long as the actions you take to kill or to injure does not outweigh any other means. To protect, do you understand? Yes, Your Honor. That was the letter stating here, but it made it very clear, a very clear distinction where it said that unless that animal is just moving past the property or across the property, you are not allowed to hurt the animal or shoot the animal. Mr. Sievertson, you are right. So for clarity, Mr. Villiers has stated that you may not simply shoot a baboon if it is on your property, sitting on the grass or moving through your property. What is relevant here is that in the last 18 months, numerous baboons, males and females, even a pregnant female, have been shot and killed in Pringle Bay. We have one female missing, presumed dead. We've had a baboon euthanized recently. And yet there has not been one report of anybody linked to those baboons having their life threatened by those particular baboons, and yet they are dead. The female that died in December, the statement from Overstrand municipality says they don't know how she died. The autopsy doesn't show. The baboon that was euthanized, we're just told that he wasn't getting any better, that he had spinal bruising. The question is, are these baboons an imminent danger to us, or is it the other way around? I'd now like to read some of the magistrate's closing statement and then to end off with his judgment. Mr. Sivertson, you moved into an area humans are not supposed to be. We invaded nature, so we invaded their territory. So we must make sure that we put measures in place to say that us or our families and our property is protected. If, as I've explained earlier, your safety, your wife's safety, your animals, pets, your property were threatened by any wild animal, the law says you have the right to injure or kill that animal, depending on whether there are other measures that you could have used. Now, you cannot say that if you are standing by your gate with a toy rifle in your hand, that neither she nor her staff could have been under the impression that that weapon is there, whether real or not, to injure, to kill, or whether to scare anything or anyone. So when she said to you that if you shoot the baboons again, or if you do shoot them, I will report you and I will lay a charge against you, you cannot blame her for that. You need to sit together and work out something, because what I am telling you now is a fact. Those baboons are not going back into the mountain. There is no way that you can remove them back to the mountain. Even if you get the animal baboons to move back into the mountains, the youngsters that were born in the village will still come down from the mountain. So either we live with them because we moved in to their territory, or we find a solution to get them out. And the solution to get them out definitely cannot be killing them or injuring them. Mr. Sivertson, the harassment that you are complaining about, I cannot find anything in the actions from the respondent that amounts to harassment. If you feel that she is invading your privacy, you would need to prove that. Secondly, those animals cannot speak for themselves. So if they are, their natural instinct is to go where food is available. They will go where it is easy to survive. What can be easier than going into dustbins, uprooting vegetable gardens, poking your hand through a window, those kind of things. Mr. Sivertson, stay off the WhatsApp groups. You do not get all the facts, where there is sometimes an easier solution. So my judgment, Mr. Sivertson, is I am not going to grant an order. I cannot find that there was harassment, as you in your application alleged. So I am going to dismiss your application. So before we end, I'd like to urge you to please read the statement made by Mr. Ed Overberg-Fresh in the link below, together with the legal rebuttal regarding the Liezl Smith case. I hope after watching this will enable you to decide who is distorting the truth. Based on the facts presented to you in this interview, I wonder, and I hope you do too, if it is reasonable to conclude that the many posts found on the group, written by this individual, may have had a tremendously divisive influence on the residents of Pringle Bay, who are simply trying to live a peaceful existence within a biosphere alongside nature.
Oh!